Hello, good afternoon, good day, how you doing? What's the word? How's it going, everyone? It's Tom again. I'm back after a long hiatus, a long break, and I apologize for the long wait. And I have been very busy trying to find my path for these videos. As some of you know, I started an English club, which has made it complicated to find the right length, the right level of videos, because my videos are focused on high intermediate to advanced, and some of my students are simply not that. But that's okay. I think I'm going to say screw it and start making some videos. Maybe they're not exactly the same level, covering the same topic, but that's okay. The point is, I'm back making videos, getting you motivated. Motivation is the word of the day, the word of the week. We need to keep motivated because motivation breeds consistency, breeds that passing the barrier of, I don't want to study today, I simply don't have 10 minutes. Well, we can find ways to do this, and I'm going to do everything in my power to show you all of the hidden gems, all of the great things, all of the wide world of content that exists in the internet. I'm sorry that I haven't been making videos recently. I haven't been sending you emails. I personally got off track with my habits, and we need to get back on track. So I ask you to bear with me, but I also want you to bear in mind the wonderful world of content that exists on YouTube and other sources like Instagram and all of that wonderful stuff. Okay? First, what we're going to do is we're going to give some shout outs. What is a shout out? Shout out! A shout out is a phrasal noun, which means a recommendation, a compliment, a way to send people to someone else's channel, for example. There are some great channels out there, and the first channel I want to shout out is Interactive English. I've shown this video before, but it bears repeating because it's so useful. It is the poem The Night Before Christmas. He breaks down the linking, the reduction, the schwa, the American flap T, and all of the things that force us to speak in a rhythm. So it's so nice to see. The other channel that I want to shout out is San Diego Accent. She is basically making videos about rhythm, stress, reductions, linking, schwa, the whole shebang, the whole Megillah, the whole 9 yards. This is excellent supplementary practice for all of the native speaking patterns I've introduced in class. And for vocabulary, the greatest thing since sliced bread, Youglish.com. I have said time and time again how important it is to contextualize vocabulary. We have to see it in context, in videos, in reading. We have to speak it so that it solidifies into our active brain. And this does take some time. So this is why absorbing content, watching passively on your own is just as important as the role plays and the sentence making in class. As my student Thomas said, it is a game changer. It has completely given us a shortcut into finding content to watch. Now we can find content based on the target vocabulary. You can look up, you can sift through all of the different videos that exist on YouTube based on a phrase or a topic. You can even look up hashtag Donald Trump, hashtag manga. Hey, this is actually a perfect opportunity to look up some of the vocabulary that we've seen in class.
Right, but I think oftentimes you can get off track because the interviewer might be like, oh, you know what? I want to talk about flowers now.
Not to get off track, but I have a new book I'm writing, and it's like the why would I do such a thing like that.
You need a routine because you can't trust yourself not to get off track. That routine is going to keep you on track and make you a 1%er.
Just get back on track and do it again.
The thing.
Me while I move to another part of the apartment. Cool. It's a very dry name, but bear with me, it's super helpful.
It's a little complicated to explain, so bear with me.
So here are a few tips to bear in mind.
Also, let's bear in mind, I do agree with washing your hands, but if you wash your hands a lot, your hands are going to dry out, right? And you're going to have to use lotions.
Now, I made a video about vocabulary contextualization using the phrase, the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I maintain that Youglish for a teacher and for an English learner is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So, I highly recommend you check out my video and maybe leave a comment and like and subscribe so that you can understand a little bit of how to use this and you can learn about a very American phrase like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay? So go now. What are you waiting for? So let's move to the phrasal verb of the day. The phrasal verb of the day is to stumble upon. So now let's break down what this phrase means. To stumble. Well, let's look at someone stumbling. Notice they didn't walk accurately. They tripped, they fell, they accidentally fell out of their normal walking course. This is to stumble. And so stumble upon becomes an unexpected encounter. So I'm walking down the street, around a street that I normally walk, and I stumbled upon a bookstore, a very small bookstore. You wouldn't be able to notice it if the window didn't say bookstore. So I walked in, I perused the history section. I always peruse the history section. And I found that it's quite a nice, quaint, cute little bookstore. But I stumbled upon it. I didn't know about it beforehand. I just simply came across this bookstore as I was walking. So that's what stumble upon means, right? So now we have the definition, we have an example. That's part 1. Part 2 is to go to Youglish.com to find some examples of stumble upon. I stumbled upon another excellent tool that is making all of our lives easier. I've been meaning to send you guys a message encouraging all of us to get into good habits. My idea was the 10-minute challenge. Every day, 10 minutes of writing, watching, or listening. Well, guess what? It looks like Youglish stole my idea. Great. Just great. Well, okay, theirs is kind of different. They've simply provided you with a video to watch, set it to 95% speed, and voila. The wonderful thing? You can change the speed. Look at that. Of course, if you're looking for more videos, don't fret. I'm going to be scouring the internet for valuable videos, valuable content for my students. Pronunciation, cultural context, grammar, the whole kit and caboodle. So how many phrases did I just mention for the whole package? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's one more. Everything but the kitchen sink. 10 minutes on your phone, 10 minutes on a book, 10 minutes on your computer. We can do it. So let's not make excuses. Let's get into good habits for the start of the year. Look out for more videos, and thank you for listening.
South, white leaders in the South hoped that even freedom would not mean like the whole Megillah, would not mean that blacks were going to vote, would not mean that blacks would have property rights, would not mean there was still, hope sprung eternal, that there was still a way to manage.
Powering the whole shebang is a Corsair RMX 750 watt power supply.
Tell us about Living Rich Now, your sabbatical, the whole shebang.
And the Chinese regime hit back hard. Companies like Microsoft, Qualcomm, and Apple were hit with surprise early morning raids of their China offices, fines, heavy criticism in the media, the whole shebang.
Free to enter and peruse. Old Town is a retro landmark and a recreation of a classic Florida town that offers amusement rides.
Peruse Audible's huge selection and download a book of your choice by going to audible.com/menearth and signing up for a free 30-day trial.
Basic human decency. And if you peruse Twitter, Facebook, or some of the other social media, and we had the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League on recently, you'll see a huge proliferation of hate speech.